future value and present value of a single cash flow. In the previous module on compounding and discounting, we looked at how we can take a cash flow occurring at a particular point in time and determine its value at any other point in time. We did this by applying the concept of the time value of money and using something called the interest rate factor, 1 plus the interest rate. We can move the cash flow into the future or to the right along a timeline by repeatedly multiplying by the interest rate factor. And we can move it into the past or to the left along the timeline by repeatedly dividing by the interest rate factor. We do this n times, where n is the number of periods we need to move the cash flow into the future or the past. In this module, we will take advantage of two equations which can make that process easier. This is the general formula for the future value of a single cash flow, where C is the cash flow that we need to move into the future, R is the interest rate per period, and N is the number of periods we need to move the cash flow. Because we can calculate the future value of a given cash flow for various future periods, we often use a subscript to indicate the period of time a cash flow relates to. So FV subscript N means the future value of the cash flow at time period N. Let's use an example to illustrate the use of this formula. What is the future value of $1,000 invested for 4 years at an interest rate of 8% per annum? This is the formula we need to use. All we need to do is substitute the known values into the formula and perform the calculation. The answer is $1,360 rounded to the nearest dollar. It's also important that you practice calculating all of these problems with your calculator to make sure you know exactly how to perform the calculations. This is the general formula for the present value of a single cash flow, where C, R, and N have the same definitions as in the previous formula. Sometimes a subscript is used to indicate the period of time the present value relates to, but most of the time we calculate the present value today or at time period 0, and therefore a subscript is not always necessary. The present value is expressed in two different ways, which are mathematically equivalent. The reason for giving you a choice is that sometimes one or the other version will be more convenient in setting out a problem, depending on the kind of problem being solved. It's up to you which version you use. It is hopefully clear to you that dividing by 1 plus r to the power of n is the same, mathematically speaking, as multiplying by 1 plus r to the power of minus n. Let's use another example to illustrate the use of this formula. What is the present value of $4,000 to be received in 7 years if the interest rate is 5% per annum? This is the formula we need to use. This is how we substitute in the variables, and the answer is $2,843 to the nearest dollar.